its way to Annapolis for a quarterfinal tilt against the two-time defending national champions, Kevin Corrigan's Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Irish, led by Chris Kavanaugh, are the seat of imperial power in college lacrosse. They've won the last two titles and seeking the first three-peat in the sport since Princeton in the late 1990s. Yesterday on Long Island, two absolute barn burners. Syracuse outlasted Princeton 19-18. The Orange back to championship weekend for the first time in a dozen years. The one-seed Cornell holding off Richmond. The Big Red eyeing their first title since the late 1970s. Anish Shroff, Quint Keshnick. Annapolis Q has a lot to live up to.
Saturday was awesome. Frantically fantastic, high-scoring quarterfinal games. I think today, Sunday Fun Day, you can't spell Sunday without the word D, without the letter D, and you're going to see some tough defenses today.
Well, let's start with ND. Notre Dame has won the last two titles, 14-1 in the last 15 games in the month of May. 9 straight NCAA tournament wins, and they've been pretty dominant over the last 5.
And Chris Kavanaugh is the tie-in to that legacy. He is the last of the Kavanaugh brothers, the third Kavanaugh brother. He is the heartbeat of this team, whether it's riding, causing turnovers, getting ground balls, or putting up massive production in terms of goals and assists. He's got 28 career hat tricks. He is the catalyst that drives this team, that gets them towards championship weekend.
Kavanaugh, the most outstanding player of the NCAA tournament last year, and Dana Boyle, so much chatter about a potential three-peat. This is an unseeded Notre Dame team. How are they handling it?
Yeah, Anish, well, the conversations surrounding a three-peat were buzzing even before Notre Dame played a regular season game in 2025. A three-peat, like you mentioned, hasn't been done since the late 90s by the Princeton Tigers. Speaking with six-year captain Jake Taylor and their leading goal scorer Chris Kavanaugh, they told me they felt the pressure to live up to the success of the last two national championship teams. Since their loss in the ACC tournament semifinals to Syracuse, they told me they're playing fierce, having fun, and that's evident in their dismantling of Ohio State in the first round of the NCAA tournament, where they put up 15 goals, 10 different goal scorers scoring in different ways. It's safe to say they're playing their best lacrosse when it matters most, Anish.
Yeah, that was a 9-goal win on the road in round one against the Big Ten tournament champions. Penn State out of the Big Ten. They were home last week. They had their hands full, but were able to survive Colgate. They're led by the Big Ten Player of the Year, Matt Traynor.
Yeah, 11 wins for this team. This is a senior, the number 6 pick in the Premier Lacrosse League draft by the New York Atlas. He had 3 goals against Colgate. The Big Ten Player of the Year. He can get hot. He had 7 against Johns Hopkins earlier. You see him, big, strong, right-handed playmaker with his feet set, can shoot powerfully from range. Matt Traynor is the best player for Coach Jeff Tambroni.
Prior to 2019, Penn State had never won a playoff game. We've now seen a program under Jeff Tambroni take that next step. Chance to go to their 3rd semifinal since 2019.
Coach Tambroni comfortable in the quarterfinals.
Meanwhile, Kevin Corrigan, it took so long to get to the top and win that first one. Now that they're at the top, it seems they don't want to leave.
Corrigan in rare form yesterday in practice. They threw the ball around at Annapolis High School for about an hour. Then they came over here to Navy Marine Corps Stadium and only did shooting with their goalies and some face-off work.
Kevin Corrigan told his team, play free, lose the pressure of expectations, focus on the process. Opening face-off between Reed Gills and Will Lynch. And Penn State able to win the opening draw. The Nittany Lions will go to work on offense. The attack for Penn State. Matt Traynor flanked by Liam Matthews, the hero of round one, and the sophomore Kyle Lehman. Their first midfield comes on, led by the senior Ethan Long. Jack Amon, the Rutgers transfer, 55 in white. Long can initiate from up top. He's 20 in white. Now Lehman gets a step on the bagpiper, Ben Ramsey. Defended now by Sean Light, 90 in blue, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Here comes Trainer. Right hand free. Penn State strikes first.
Nittany Lions have had great success facing off this season. They win the opening draw, and the matchups here are notable. Notre Dame puts Sean Light, number 90, their best defender, on Kyle Lehman. That leaves Nate Switzenberg to cover Matt Trainer. We talked about Trainer's ability to take over a game, and on the first possession, he's able to sweep right-handed to the middle of the field to get to his strength, and that's been his bread and butter. And that defense for Notre Dame will not cut it.
Trainer had 3 goals in round 1, a first-round pick of the New York Atlas in the PLL draft. Lynch has been a premier face-off man in this NCAA tournament. Gills, an Annapolis native, just a freshman, jumped. And that means Gills cannot take the next face-off. And remember, Penn State's backup Fogo, Colby Baldwin, is out today. And Baldwin, I shouldn't call him the backup. He had been the starter before he got hurt.
The cadence on that last face-off finish seemed really slow. You get in a playoff game, there's a lot of tension, a lot of nerves, and if the referees don't put that ball down and blow the whistle quickly, you're going to see some false starts.
Well, the Irish with a chance here, and a good early sign for Penn State. Jack Frassie, their goalie, with the save. He had been at 34% the last 3 games. It's been a down season overall, below 50% on the season. As Penn State fails to clear, they turn it over. Frassie on the last 2 years. Big Ten goalkeeper of the year, specialist of the year. If he plays to his potential, Penn State can beat and hang with anybody.
I watched him closely in practice yesterday. They've upped his volume. He is in a slump. But that top hand tells the story, Nish. If he's moving the top hand, again, brain, eyes, and top hand in sync, so far so good for the goalie who kind of makes a homecoming here in Annapolis.
He is 2 for 2. Here come the Nittany Lions, unsettled. Kyle Aldridge, two-way midi, has it dislodged by Schwitzenberg, and Trainer keeps it for Penn State.
Penn State's a moderate tempo team. They've got 1 failed clear so far. That's going to be critical in this game, Anish. Notre Dame wants to run, push tempo, create more gray areas and more chaos. Penn State wants to play in the half-field sets. They want a slower tempo.
Second midfield now getting run for Penn State. Will Peden, 12 in white. Jeff Tambroni loves him as a catalyst, a spark plug. Trainer directing traffic, dumps it behind the cage. Now Lehman, 8 goals in his last 4 games. He's met by Light. Maybe the best one-on-one cover in all of college lacrosse. Good use of the pick game to get the switch. Now he's got a short stick matchup. Top side, Lehman missed the cage. Possession to Penn State, closest to the ball where and when it goes out on a shot, awarded possession.
That's the right look for Penn State. They set such a solid pick that Light is forced to switch off.
And a shot clock violation. .47 in blue, Will Gallagher setting up the clear for Notre Dame. Thomas Ricciardelli, their goalie. And offsides for the Irish, so a sloppy start here for Notre Dame, and Penn State dominating the offensive possessions, at least early on. That's a Nittany Lions team that was in the top 10 most of the season. It's the only team in the country to beat Cornell. The Big Red, the #1 seed, and they are the favorite in this tournament.
In terms of offense, if Trainer gets hot, you got problems if you're Notre Dame.
Here's a chance for Penn State. That one off the pipe from Trainer. Penn State's got some good looks in the beginning.
You know, this matchup so far is not going to work. They're going to have to put Sean Light on Matt Trainer.
Light starting on Lehman. Amon wheels down the alley, plays it back to X. Now Long against the bagpiper Ramsey. And all ACC short stick D Mitty. Lehman spin cycles away from Gallagher. Excellent one-on-one defense. Now Amon with the left hand. Ricciardelli to save. Thomas Ricciardelli this season, Quint, stepped into dinosaur footprints left by one of the great goaltenders of the last 20 years in Liam Entenmann.
58% for the junior who sat 2 years as the understudy. Remember, he was a top goalie in the class. He was number 4 recruit coming out of Taft. And to me, he's grown, playing his best ball after kind of a shaky outing against Syracuse late in the season, but he's been spectacular.
How good was he in round 1? 15 out of 21, 71%. Irish looking for the early equalizer. Second midfield, here's Jalen Seymour. Devin McClain, the Brown transfer. Now Chris Kavanaugh. There's the slide. Kavanaugh fires and whistles it a little wide. 13 in blue, Jake Taylor is the inside finisher for Notre Dame. Teams have been trying to take him away. He gives the Irish their best shot near the crease. One of the great goal scorers in program history. Seymour's a big guy at 6'4". Wilma Harris now, the junior out of Chicago. Over to Fisher Finley. Finley to the cage, and he stepped into the crease. Penn State ball. Notre Dame, for the last few games, has not had Matt Jeffrey, the ACC Freshman of the Year. He is a dynamic, speedy midfielder who also doubles as a receiver on the Notre Dame football team. He's not playing today. Notre Dame won't commit to his status beyond this game, but there have been a lot of whispers that his availability for the rest of the tournament is unlikely.
Two things that jump out at me right there. That wasn't the worst shot clock violation or crease foul because it was late in the shot clock. But Penn State now with 2 failed clears, getting bottled up in the middle of the field. Notre Dame's ride is outstanding. I think it's been a catalyst in a lot of their better performances this season. They've typically been a slow starting offensive team, and they've used that ride.
And Notre Dame has had some scoring droughts this season. Taylor, that one on a bounce. Here's Jordan Faison. Faison's like a Maserati on the Autobahn with his speed. Angrick, bounce shot over the cage. Faison scoops up the ball. Close defense for Penn State. Kevin Parnham, number 16, their top defender. Alex Ross, very good as well, and Will Costin, number 28. Chris Kavanaugh defended by Ross. Over to the wing. That shot is blocked.
Penn State's D is really comfortable right now, Anish.
Why?
Alex Ross is handling Kavanaugh. The midfield one-on-one matchups, Penn State's doing a good job of funneling the ball carriers to weak angles. Frassion's been on point. I like the spacing. They're pretty condensed, and Notre Dame's got nothing. We haven't mentioned Jake Taylor's name yet.
Alex Ross and Penn State's win against Cornell did about as masterful of a job you can do this season against C.J. Kirst, who is the best offensive player in the game. Here's Traynor. He has the lone goal and has a short stick matchup. Working on Reinhardt. Traynor fires. Ricciardelli the save. Rebound loose. And the finish by Hunter Aquino, the freshman who was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. The kid is a superstar waiting in the wings.
7 minutes into this ball game, and two things are apparent. The tempo, the pace is going to be much slower in these games, defensive-based games. The other thing that jumps out at me is disrespect for Matt Traynor. He's got the shorty, and there's his freshman, Hunter Aquino, picking up the trash.
An unprecedented transcontinental race begins on Nintendo Switch 2. Mario Kart World. Game rated E for everyone.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these to Dad.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow,
Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
There's losing, and then there's being the loser. Game time comes with enough pressure. Way too often, people are betting on sports, losing, and taking it out on the athletes. Only a loser would harass college athletes after losing a bet. But it happens almost every day. Root for your team. Get crazy when the buzzer sounds. But don't harass anyone because you lost a bet. It's time we draw the line and put an end to the abuse. Brought to you by the NCAA.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love.
Back-to-back champs, the Fighting Irish.
The Fighting Irish play like a champion today.
You wait your whole career to see this right here.
Chris going low, kiss the stone. All that glitters is still gold. Back-to-back national titles. Penn State looking to knock off the king in college lacrosse. Dana, you were listening to the Notre Dame huddle. What did you glean?
Head coach Kevin Corrigan, passionate as always in the huddle, but really frustrated with the self-inflicted wounds. In that Ohio State game in the first round, they didn't compound mistakes, but you saw through that first quarter, they give away a clear, they're offsides, they're getting in each other's way on offense, so it's really just them making those mistakes. Good ground.
Dana, you're going to need a filter today in that huddle, but one thing he's got to be upset about is the way Notre Dame is switching on picks. Twice now defensively, they have had a short stick end up on Lehman, number 4 for Penn State, or a short stick end up on 22, Matt Trainer.
More respect for Matt Trainer.
They've got to stay with their matchups.
Historically, Quint, though, Notre Dame has switched. They switch 1 through 6. Here is Seymour. Big 6'4" senior. Skip past Maheris, and the Irish are on the board.
That's nice, and that's the answer you want if you are a fan of the Fighting Irish. Seymour, I mean, you talk about a guy who looks the part at 6'4", running downhill, double team drawn. Notre Dame's on their sub pattern. So you see the Penn State midfielder trailing the sub. It's a 5-on-5 situation, and that just opens up all sorts of real estate. Maheris, shot ready when he catches it. It's a little crow hop and he fires it. Keep it simple, Fighting Irish. Beautiful goal.
Back to the face-off X. Gills and Lynch. Gills 72%, was 21 of 28 in round 1. Last 2 games with Baldwin out, he's been close to 80%, and Will Lynch for his career in the NCAA tournament, 64%.
The key guy for Penn State on these faceoffs has been John King, number 33. Right now they've got Kyle Aldridge on that far wing.
But Aldridge is an offensive threat. He's a two-way midi. Good battle here. And the freshman Gills had it for a moment.
That's a scrap. That's a playoff ground ball, baby. Look at this.
No flag.
That ball's still in.
It's going to go to Notre Dame. They're letting them play.
Tell you, incredible toughness, tenacity right in front of the benches. Every possession matters.
Well, you heard it from Jeff Tambroni. He felt there should have been a push. Added a few more adjectives. Notre Dame's won the last 3 faceoffs. 77 in blue. Luke Miller has been seeing more playing time of late. Here comes Seymour. Now Miller. There's the slide. Good help defense by Penn State. Seymour down the alley, ties the game at 2.
Jalen Seymour is a senior from Long Island. He's insanely talented. And like dynamite, we've seen him get hot at times. And this is a player, he's a little inconsistent like the rest of this offense. But once again, downhill, no double team, no respect. Frassian's got no answers. And Seymour now is factored in both Notre Dame goals.
Another face-off won by the Irish. That's 4 in a row.
And to add to Jeff Tambroni, Penn State's head coach, frustration, the call that went to Notre Dame results in a goal. Those sting.
Winner of this game gets Cornell. The Big Red, the 1 seed. If it's Penn State Cornell, it would be Jeff Tambroni facing his old team. Tambroni took Cornell to the championship game in 2009, came oh so close to winning. Kavanaugh with a good shot. He hits the deck hard. That will get a shot clock reset. A save or a shot off the pipe resets the shot clock. And the reset is to 60 in the half field. Will Angrick. Now back to Kavanaugh. Notre Dame probing the perimeter. Kavanaugh fires on the run, save Frassian.
Frassian's got some bounce today. This will be a critical facet, the clearing game for Penn State.
Frassian playing in his hometown of Annapolis. Flag down. Offsides against Notre Dame. So the Irish will just keep the 7 players on the defensive side of the field. It's a free possession for Penn State.
And Will Donovan, 81, he's kind of the designated free backer. You see him standing in the middle of the defensive formation, like a free safety. He can double, or he can just wait it out.
There's Trainer looking to shake Schwitzenberg. Dumps it back to X. Long shot deflected. And Penn State will now go on the extra man.
Blue 5-0. Offsides. 30-second technical. Please reset the shot clock at 60.
Penn State man up, clicking at 40% on the season, 22nd in the country. Open this setup in a circle formation, but you know that's not going to last long. Here come the cuts.
Saved by Richard Deli. Amon retrieves. Trainer over to Amon, the Rutgers transfer. Now Lehman from the wing. Back to full strength. Shot saved by Richard Deli.
Easy stop and great rebound control by Richard Deli. Low to low. That's a low release to a low location. You telegraph your shot, you make the goalie's job super simple.
Harris. McLean shot saved, the rebound by Ramsey, turned away. Oh! Frassian like Spider-Man.
Feeling it. Feeling it. Bench on fire. He's so good from in tight.
If they have the Jack Frassian from 2024, and 2023. It is a game changer for Penn State. Seymour over to Miller, chased by Parnham. Parnham was a PLL draft pick, 4th round to Denver. Had 6 ground balls and 4 caused turnovers in round 1. Seymour with 2 points. McLean over to Kavanaugh, kissed the stone.
Frassion's last save, there's 3. That's a bounce shot that misses. Prior, he had made some miraculous saves. He's a great stopper with his feet from in tight, but ball reversal. Okay, I think that was Seymour again going down the right alley. This time he kicks it to McLean, one more across the defense, and you go east to west. You draw the defensive personnel to one side of the field, and you spin it for ball reversal. Feet set shot for Kavanaugh. That's textbook offense, Anish.
Chris Kavanaugh, 10th overall pick of the California Redwoods. Career goal number 149. He and his brother Pat teamed up for the last 2 championships. Pat now playing in the pros. He is here today with Liam Entenmann, and we had a shot of those 2 early.
Spoke to Chris yesterday, growing that red playoff beard. He's
Barbarossa,
huge hockey fan.
Lehman whistles one high.
Admitted, Anish, that he's been dealing with some nagging injuries over the course of the season.
Here comes Lehman. Trainer shot into the shadow realm.
Switzenberg, 27, has got to realize that Trainer, right-handed, is trying to get top side. He's got to get on that shoulder and force him to roll back.
Here comes Aquino, the talented freshman. Another missile over the cage. Final 36.8. Quarter number 1, Irish up 3-2. That pass almost picked. Shot by Matthews. Richard Deli got a piece. 6 saves in the opening quarter for Thomas Richardelli, who is showing his mettle. Now the Irish turn it over on the clear. A chance for Penn State. Trainer bayonets in. Another save by Richardelli. Gallagher vacuums. Chucks it downfield. And that is, I guess, a save by Frassion to bring the first quarter to a frantic finish. Penn State scored the first 2. The 2-time champions, Quint, respond.
Jalen Seymour has been the main catalyst. Jack Frassion standing tall for Penn State. Sunday is fun day, and it's all about the defense.
College sports fans, get ready for game day with the officially licensed merchandise from the NCAA official online shop. Shop NCAAsports.com. Get the whole family geared up with the best collection of apparel and accessories, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, headgear, championship gear, and more. Visit the NCAA shop for today's special offer and rep your favorite team now. Only at shopNCAAsports.com.
Take a chance that I bet y'all won't. I got a plan and it involves money. It's super hot. It's super hot.
A history of winning started with the 65 Gators, losing steam, losing sweat. The solution? A drink that hydrates better than water and changed the game forever.
Naturally, we called our stuff Gatorade.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks,
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these to Dad.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
An update is required.
Financial system updating.
System updated.
We will dance to get.
The future of money is here. Feels good.
Coach Corrigan, textbook offense on that last score by Chris Kavanaugh with the ball reversal. How would you assess your team's performance through the first quarter?
I thought for the first 5 minutes we made a bunch of silly mistakes all over the field. We didn't defend the middle of the field defensively. We gave up a bad offsides call on a silly thing on a clear, and we threw the ball away a couple times. So, settled down, played much better. You got to continue that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
There's history between Notre Dame and Penn State. This is the 22nd meeting, but they haven't played since 2014. They used to play a lot way back when, but most of those games, Quint, remember, all but 2 of the previous meetings were played in the month of February.
That's ancient history. When you said there's history between these two teams, I looked at you like, there is?
Not recently, but there was. We go to the second quarter. Notre Dame with a 3-2 lead. Winner to Foxborough Championship weekend, where the 1 seed Cornell awaits. Penn State wins the faceoff. They got a good one in Gills.
I tell you, he's been a revelation as a freshman. After Colby Baldwin gets hurt. Baldwin, we saw him yesterday practice in a cast, but Gills, 6'3", kind of a long, lanky Fogo. It's a different body type than most at the position.
Jeff Tambroni telling us they don't feel there's been much of a drop-off. Here comes Long. He will initiate, but he lost that one. Alakwa poked it away. One of those playoff ground balls recovered by Lehman. Shot clock at 40. Amon looking to attack Ramsey. Spins back to his right. Didn't get much on the shot. It was deflected.
Amon's a dangerous shooter from range. He's got a wicked rollback transfer, graduate transfer from Rutgers. Trainer's got a matchup here. Top of the box.
They were trying to get him the ball. Now they do. Trainer looking for a cutting Matthews. It's picked up by Long. And we're tied at 3.
N1 with a flag. After the shot, he gets buried. And this is going to be a late hit against Notre Dame. Massive crowd here today. You couldn't have a more gorgeous Sunday in Annapolis. This is the tail end. Watch it. Little bit of theatrics there. But Long picks up the grounder and has a good head of steam and gets to the middle of the field. And that's just a beat too late. So because it's a dead ball, Anish, there'll be no face-off.
A chance for Penn State to retake the lead. A man-up unit for the Nittany Lions came in at 40%, top 25 nationally.
John Hawes is their offensive coordinator.
Long from the wing, fakes the pass, comes back to Trainer. Amon from the outside, Richard Deli, the veto.
He's locked in, this goaltender, righty. Handling the low shot in the first quarter. That time he stays big.
8 for 11 today. And through a game.
Notre Dame was offsides. Notre Dame was offsides again.
Third time today. Long, feeding the crease. And Luke Wallstrom will reset. Penn State will wait for its personnel.
Uncharacteristic, especially for a veteran team. Back-to-back national championships. You don't expect to see 2 offsides calls in the first half.
There's Wallstrom. He's an attackman who's played midfield with the injury to Aquino this season. Hunter Aquino, extremely talented freshman, just has not been healthy the second half of the season. Has not practiced a whole lot. Penn State preserving whatever he has left for the games. Trainer drawing attention. Penn State able to spin it. Matthews had the game-tying and game-winning goal in round 1. Trainer can't shake the defense. Shot clock inside of 20. Lehman defended by Ramsey. Lehman drew light earlier. Shot clock into single digits, behind the back shot, desperation. They had more time.
Ramsey's such a valuable piece. You see him 24 in blue. Not only does he play great defense on that last possession, Anish, but he's rock solid on the clear.
And he is a threat in transition. Game 1 Western Conference Finals, Jokic and the Nuggets in OKC today at 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Turnover number 5 for the Irish. Now, Quint, you said it at the top of the broadcast. The games today have the feel more of a slower-paced, defensive style.
And that's okay. You know, that's what makes lacrosse fascinating. If you watch those games yesterday, you're at the edge of your seat. I mean, back and forth, 19-18, 13-12. Shot totals, 90 shots in one of those games. These games today, we got Maryland playing Georgetown in game 2. These are going to be slow-down games. They're going to be half-field games. If you can get to 10 goals, you're probably going to win both of these games today. Very different styles of the game, and that's fine because this game can be played a lot of different ways.
Decaf versus triple espresso. Wallstrom dumps it to Aquino. He's quick, he's big, he's tall, and when healthy,
and Anish,
lethal.
Style-wise, in a year where you could say the pack of title contenders was, what, 8 or 9 deep? That's what's fascinating. Cornell's offense. Maryland's defense. Like, how does it all shake down?
Syracuse's ability to control possessions with Mullen.
Notre Dame's ability to go on runs and exert their experience and their skill and their athleticism in a 10-minute period.
And Notre Dame in the middle of the field. And they've got the most horses there of any team left. Down to 6 teams with Cornell and Syracuse advancing yesterday on Long Island. Chris Kavanaugh dancing from X. 3-3 game, second quarter. Back to Kavanaugh. Trying to get top side. He's got a short stick matchup now.
It's a 5-on-5 here. Penn State shutting off. Aquino's shutting off Maharis.
Kavanaugh against Leary. There comes the switch. Up top, Seymour. Miller. Great crease feed where Jake Taylor is a sure thing.
Nice dish. What a pass. About 3 weeks ago, you're watching Notre Dame, and you're seeing the 77s on the field. And we've covered Notre Dame all season. Like, who is 77? Well, it's Luke Miller, freshman from the McDonald School. The Eagles, great attackman in high school, but he was always Robin in high school. He played alongside the Millen brothers. McCabe Millen at Virginia and his brother Brendan. Well, here he is, wing dodging, drawing the defense, and a nice subtle touch pass to Jake Taylor in front.
How good has Jake Taylor been throughout his career? Kevin Corrigan has signaled the turning point for Notre Dame as the moment when Jake Taylor a few years ago entered the starting lineup, joining at the time Pat and Chris Kavanaugh. He said once that move was made, the puzzle on attack was complete. Notre Dame became a different team.
Taylor now in his 6th season, Denver, Colorado native, has dealt with multiple knee injuries, but he's the hub of the offense. So he's on the inside. It'll be like having a dominant center in basketball, and the way that changes the dynamics of how you can cover Notre Dame.
A timeout by Jeff Tambroni. We take 1-2. The Irish with a 4-3 lead here in the first half.
There's losing, but then there's being the loser. Game time comes with enough pressure. Way too often, people are betting on sports, losing, and taking it out on the athletes. Only a loser would harass college athletes after losing a bet. But it happens almost every day. Root for your team. Get crazy when the buzzer sounds. But don't harass anyone because you lost a bet. It's time we draw the line and put an end to the abuse. Brought to you by the NCAA.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
An update is required.
Financial system updating.
System updated.
We will dance together.
The future of money is here. Feels good.
Yes, my salad is here. Thank you, DoorDash.
I love Dash Pass by DoorDash. It helped me save on ramen for the whole crew.
So what's better, your food or the savings you get with Dash Pass?
Tough call.
Here's a better question. What are we gonna do with the...
The NCAA Men's Lacrosse National Championship game Monday, May 26th, 1 Eastern on ESPN from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. That's the home of the New England Patriots. For more info, go to NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Anaïs Schroff, Quinn Kesnick, and Dana Boyle with a report from the Penn State huddle.
Yeah, Jeff Tambroni addressing the offensive huddle, saying we're doing a lot of standing and pointing fingers, saying, no, you take the ball, no, you take the ball. It can't be on the responsibility of just two guys on the offensive end. You've got to move and cut through. It's really basic stuff, Quinn.
The two key guys, Dan, are going to be Matt Traynor, 22, typically will operate from the wing on the right-handed side, and Kyle Lehman, 4, who prefers the left-handed side. Everything revolves around those two.
Penn State moving it around. Here's the skip pass to Traynor. It's picked off. Light accelerates. Feeds the wing. Here's a shot. Score! Sean Light to Chris Kavanaugh. Career goal number 150 for Kavanaugh.
Tell you, you make a mistake, and this is how Notre Dame, they score, transition, you force feed. Light's got his stick in the passing lane, and look at him go. Look at the speed. He comes down, and this pass is sensational. He throws that across his body, a 15-yard pass on a frozen rope right in the pocket. Kavanaugh then is able to plant his feet, get to the middle of the field, changing levels. I mean, that is textbook, both from the defender and the goal scorer.
Colin Hagstrom out to take this face-off for Notre Dame. He's able to win it. Quint, as much as we've seen Sean Light over the last 2 years Very rarely do we see him with the ball in his stick pushing the way he just did.
And that's the next level. Look, he is the nation's best cover man, well, without an argument. But for him to become a Team USA, to become a PLL, a professional all-star, the next level of his growth and his development has to be off the ground and with the ball in his stick. And that play right there, that's an eye catcher. That was a sensational play.
I'm telling you, at the PLL Championship Series in February, there were guys talking about Sean Light as a day one, #1 cover guy in the PLL right now. Angrick! The Irish look like they're going on one of their patented runs.
Jeff Tambroni's got to be thinking timeout on this Penn State sideline because suddenly this game is slipping away. His defense stationary, acting like they're picking dandelions around the crease, and Fracion has gotten lit up. Nothing complex here. It's Angrick dodging the long approach. King, 33 in white, is in the middle of the field, and look at him run out to the wing. Angrick's got a two-way go there. He plays King's angle. He beats him topside, left-handed. Will Angrick is a rising stock, Anish.
He's got one more year. He said he's going to come back for a 5th year. 3 goals in 93 seconds for Notre Dame in the midst of a 6-1 run. And this is what they can do. They're playing make it, take it lacrosse. Lynch will play back. We saw a little bit of this last week. Slow start against Ohio State, and then from the second quarter on, it looked like vintage Notre Dame from the last 2 years.
Russ DeLynn, our stat guy, gave us a stat about their first half. They've been about 50-50 with teams. They're blowing teams out in the second half recently. Why is that? Well, I think it's guys like Will Lynch, vastly experienced face-off man who makes adjustments, who figures it out. Like the first quarter is just, it's like intelligence. It's like they're out there gathering their intelligence before they assert, like, this is how we need to fight today.
Jabs before haymakers.
Penn State now in a zone defense. First time we've seen it. It's a 3-3 zone.
Max Buzenkill over to McLean. Kavanaugh coming around the bend. Back behind to Kavanaugh. Irish trying to get inside against the zone, packed in tight. Kavanaugh and McLean play catch. McLean gets topside and stings. 4 unanswered and a 7-1 run.
You try to change the tempo of this game by flipping up your defense and going to a zone. But this Notre Dame Fighting Irish team, 2-time defending champions, they've got too much savvy, too much experience. It's not going to fluster them, and they attack. Kavanaugh, McLean on the sneak. He's just given a little too much greenery there, and Fracion can't match up. Tell me, McLean is such a versatile piece, Anish. Midfielder through most of his career. This season, bumped down to attack.
He was a key cog down the stretch for the Irish last year. Had a NCAA tournament a season ago where he scored 10 goals, had 22 goals over the last 8 games of that 2024 season. Played midfield. He was an all-Ivy League attackman at Brown, and now with Pat Kavanaugh gone, bumps back up to attack. Been a little bit of an up-and-down season, but we saw him flash and break out down the stretch.
Yeah, Brady Picorni was the freshman from Darien, was a starter down in that lefty spot when the season began. But now it's Devin McLean. Listen, this is a Brown graduate, comes to Notre Dame, gets his degree at the Arlada Business School. He was in the real world in investment banking all fall, was not with the team. And I think that contributed to kind of the late chemistry that we're seeing now in the second part of the season.
This was a guy who, on a tournament team at Brown in 2022, 47 goals, 24 assists.
I talked to Devin before the game. He and Jake Taylor were playing wall ball in the hallway down below. Again, wall ball is your ticket, young players, man. You want to get good in this game, even the best play wall ball. But anyway, he was telling me this is his final go. After this, he'll go on a golf trip. with a couple of buddies in Ireland, and then it's back to the real world. So think about that. He was in the real world for a couple of months this fall, and now he's back on college campus. Like, how joyful must he be today for this opportunity?
We saw Notre Dame defenseman Chris Conlon make that decision last year, went to the real world, had that extra year of eligibility, wanted one more run with his guys, and was a key piece defensively on a championship team last year.
Key piece is Will Lynch, 22 in blue. He's suddenly dominating these draws.
The Irish in this second quarter have not missed. 4 for 4. Penn State is 1 for 5. Now Faison, a wide receiver on the Notre Dame football team. In the college football playoff semifinal against Penn State, he had 2 catches for 25 yards. That shot hit the helmet of Parnham. Big ground ball. We're going to get a loose ball push on somebody. A hold. It's on Notre Dame.
Penn State back to their man-to-man defense off that stoppage.
A flag is down. May have another offsides here.
That is unbelievable. It's a fourth offsides in the first half.
So Penn State with a free possession. The Irish will keep the 7th defender on the field. Here's Will Peden. Quint, you like 12 and white.
Peden's a versatile piece. He can attack you from up top, wing, or behind.
Four and a half to go, first half. Peden against the All-American Will Donovan. Penn State trying to find some momentum here in a second quarter that's been all Notre Dame. Amon with the right hand, turned away. And now Penn State can set up its man-up offense.
That was a brilliant stop by Richard Deli. That ball was going to his offside hip.
30-second technical. Reset the shot clock to 60.
And he makes the body stop. Well, you're down by 4 goals. You're Jeff Tambroni. You're looking at your play sheet, your laminated play sheet right now. And is there no better time that your extra man's got to show up here? This is how you get back in this ball game.
Now the scary proposition for anybody playing Notre Dame right now, Richard Deli is, been lights out. He was lights out last week against Ohio State. He's been tremendous again today. You got a hot goalie with this team. They can beat anybody. Trainer, Long. Penn State again just wheeling around the perimeter. Long from the outside, skips it wide, couldn't get inside, just played around the necklace of the defense.
Only 30 seconds. Notre Dame shutting off the crease man, Liam Matthews, and choosing to go with a 4-man rotation, and it's effective. And Penn State was just a little too hesitant there. And he's just 30 seconds. You got to go and go now.
Back to even strength. Here comes Trainer. He had the first goal, shoots on the run, missed the cage by a lot. Shot clock is at 12, 3:29 left in the half. Here's Long. He had the game winner in that big win against Cornell. Fires on the run, no backup. Shot clock was at 2 anyway.
Too much isolation for Penn State's offense. You're not seeing any ball movement. It's all one-on-one, whether it's Trainer, whether it's Lehman, whether it's Peden. We got to start seeing multiple passes, ball reversal.
Gorgeous sun-splashed Sunday in Naptown, Annapolis, Maryland, Navy Marine Corps Stadium. There's a chance for the Irish, too easy. Jake Taylor.
From Jalen Seymour, 26. He's been involved, I believe, in 5 of the Notre Dame goals as a party starter, whether it's the hockey assist or whether it's the direct assists. And here he is again, right-handed down the alley. Why you're going there defensively, I'll never know. You've got a guy with the ball who's running behind the net. Can he score from behind goal line extended? Absolutely not, but Penn State makes that faulty slide. They don't get the bump across the formation, and Taylor just fills the void. That's what he does. That is defense creating offense for Kevin Corrigan.
It is a 5-1 second quarter blitz for Notre Dame. And that's going to be against Penn State. So Irish ball, and now Gills can't take the next faceoff. So Quinn, it's been make it, take it. It's been Notre Dame pressing downhill. Penn State, when they've had their opportunities, struggling to win matchups. They miss on the extra man. And Frassian, after a strong first quarter, has regressed a little.
Carbon copy of last week's win in Columbus.
Yep.
Down 3-1, all of a sudden, boom. Tell you, that game, I think it got their attention.
I think it got everybody's attention. Kavanaugh from the outside plays it to the wing. Shot blocked.
In talking to Chris and Devin McClain and Jake Taylor yesterday and today before the game, I got the feeling that like being in the playoffs, it clears the air, so to speak. I think they understand the urgency of it, and it wakes them up. This is a team that's vastly experienced and successful. And so sometimes I think the monotony of the regular season might not inspire them, but there's something about being in May, in the postseason, that has captured their undivided attention.
Timeout, Kevin Corrigan. Quint, this was a 3-3 game after Ethan Long scored early in this second quarter. All Irish since.
Jake Taylor from Luke Miller. Chris Kavanaugh on the sensational pass in transition from Sean Light. Will Angren gets left-handed to the middle of the field. McClain sneaks against the zone defense, and then Taylor once again capitalizes on the over-aggressive Penn State slide. And this Fighting Irish fan base, I tell you, decades ago, you go out to a game in Notre Dame and it was played in the cow patch. They built Arlotta Stadium, and man, they get fans. The people are the grassy knoll is stacked, and when they show up in May in these tournament games, there is a sea of green, and you couldn't hope for more. Kevin Corrigan, what he has built has been absolutely magical.
Yeah, he's done it over almost 4 decades, Dana.
Well, Notre Dame took that first loss in the regular season to Ohio State very personal. When they got announced that they'd be playing Ohio State in the first round of the NCAA tournament, the whole locker room erupted. And when I spoke to Chris Kavanaugh and Jake Taylor yesterday at practice, they said not only did that game feel really personal, but they played inspired, and they felt like for the first time they were really having fun playing backyard lacrosse. And you're seeing it there with Jake Taylor just getting dishes in the middle of the paint.
Quint, you were at Johns Hopkins at a time when the Blue Jays were expected to win a championship every year. You joined a team that had won in '84, had won in '85. You're a freshman on the '87 team. What's it like when you get to May with the pressure of championship or bust?
Well, there are games that get your attention, and if you're Notre Dame, when that bracket comes out, like you played Ohio State, they beat you on your field in South Bend, Indiana. They celebrated in the crowd. They posted it all over social media. Like, was there not an easier game to get fired up for? To hop in that bus and go to Columbus? To take on Big Tasty, who'd been getting all the media? All the talk was about Big Tasty.
The Ohio State goalie, Caleb Fiok, probably will be a first-team All-American.
Deservedly so. But again, just a little chip. And you're given this defending champion, 23 and 24, you've given them a chip. They don't need a chip.
There are some teams and some players, Quint, and you've been around them, they thrive off of slights, whether real or perceived.
I think it's this entire generation. I think this entire generation thrives off of that. Nobody's comfortable being the king. Everyone wants to. I guess it's the impact of social media and people taking shots.
Larger discussion.
Taking shots.
A larger discussion. We'll save that for the podcast. Here's Peden. Minute to go. Looking for Aquino.
Yeah, if Penn State doesn't figure things out, the entire second half will be a podcast.
It could be.
They can't win a matchup on the perimeter. You're not seeing them tie together good passing.
Duraco Over to Lehman. That one checked away. Shot clock violation on Penn State. Notre Dame ball. And a chance here to go quickly with 28.8. The Irish still have a timeout.
Just amazing. Early in this game, didn't love the way they were handling the Matt Trainer matchup with Switzenberg, and all of a sudden, that's fixed. Light is going to be an eraser to Lehman for in white, and the rest of the parts are digging in.
Final 20 seconds of the half. Let's see if Kevin Corrigan uses a timeout once they get it into the box.
He wants them to accelerate and get into the box.
They're taking a long time. Now Faison, they're going to go. Faison getting inside. Not much of an angle. Fracion took it away. A Manganell pass toward the cage. Richard Deli got a stick on it as it goes over the net. Penn State tied this game at 3 with 13:45 to go in the second quarter. Then did not score. The Irish closed the half on a 5-0 run, an 8-1 run if you go back to the first quarter. This was a two-time defending champion that after a sleepy start decided to flex.
Really strong in the specialist game, whether it's Fogo, Will Lynch making the adjustments, dominating that quarter. Their goalie, Thomas Richard Deli, has put up saran wrap on that goal, and everything Penn State's thrown at him, he's been clean with. And then the stars on offense catch fire. Jalen Seymour having a career game today, Anish.
He's been a difference maker out of the midfield as a finisher, as a facilitator. The Irish looking to get back to championship weekend. They are 30 minutes away. Start to this game, and then Notre Dame picked it up in that second quarter. A 5-1 second quarter run by the Fighting Irish. The two-time defending champions have an 8-3 lead at halftime. Penn State has some things to figure out, especially offensively and from a possession standpoint. But Notre Dame, beginning with that second quarter, looked like the team that has dogpiled on Memorial Day the last 2 years.
Yeah, their defense has turned it up a notch. Penn State shooting, 1 of 17. But offensively, Jalen Seymour has been really the key catalyst, I think, for Notre Dame and this offense. He has been involved in at least 3 goals. Here he beats his man down the right alley, draws the double team, and kicks it to Will Maharis. If you don't slide to him, well, he can shoot it on the run to beat you. And then here, he gets the hockey assist. He draws the double team, they go through McLean, and the ball ends up with Kavanaugh. So 26 in blue is emerging as a prime-time threat.
Meanwhile, Thomas Richard Deli is making a case that he too, like his predecessor Liam Entenmann, is a big game goalie. 15 of 21 in round 1, 9 of 12 in the opening half of the quarterfinal.
You look how quiet his feet are. At times this season, I thought he's guessed and kind of flopped or gone down low when he was unsure of shot location. Today, he's staying big, he's staying tall, and his rebound control, Anish, he's catching these shots clean.
Quint, Notre Dame has been a second half team most of this season. So what is the comeback cocktail for Penn State?
Again, it starts with specialties, starts with faceoffs and goaltending, and then I think you got to find ways to free up Matt Trainer. This offense has been a little stagnant. Nittany Lions, the ball movement has not been as crisp and electric as it needs to be.
Penn State on offense to begin. Dana, you talked to Jeff Tambroni. What did he say?
Rightfully so, frustrated specifically on the offensive end. They don't feel like they found a rhythm there in that second quarter, just not playing connected, not playing together. And how deflating is that to go man up and not be able to capitalize on that? They just have to do everything better offensively, share the ball.
We'll see if it starts here. First possession, third quarter. Trip to the semifinals where Cornell awaits.
Penn State comes into this game averaging 8 assists per game. They're number 13 in the country in that category, in passing.
All 3 of their goals today unassisted. Long has one of the 3. Great feed inside to Matt Trainer. That time, they were able to pierce the landlocked navel of that Notre Dame defense.
Great teams and great coaches make impactful adjustments at halftime. The dodge across the formation is really a decoy, and Trainer cuts left to right across your screen, almost an over-the-shoulder pass, and a little one-touch pass, Richard Deli. Really well scripted. It looked like nothing we saw in the first half, and Penn State's on the board.
Lynch wins this face-off. Face-offs have been almost even. Notre Dame has had a couple of runs where they've won a string of face-offs in a row and have kept the ball for long stretches. Tyler Buckner, 12 and blue. If the name sound is familiar, former Alabama and Notre Dame quarterback. Chris Kavanaugh, 2 goals in the first half. The Kavanaugh legacy at Notre Dame, Quint, if they win a 3rd straight championship, you think of Lacrosse and you think of the brothers Gates, Powells, Thompsons. To me, the Kavanaughs, if they win 3 titles in a row, they're right in that tier, in that conversation in terms of legacy at one program.
Trio of Golden Domers.
You can make the case they're already there.
3, yes. And to me, it's never been about their production. It's never been about their numbers, and they're gaudy numbers. They're on top of the charts, basically, at Notre Dame when you open that record book. But for me, it's about the winning culture. It's about the way they play. I will remember them by how they played, not how many goals they scored. But like, you'll see that kid walking down the street 20 years from now and be like, wow, he was tough. That guy left it all out in the field.
You know what they're
He
gonna
would hit
say?
you, he would score, he'd get in your face, he'd celebrate. I want that guy on my team because he was tough. He was a fighter.
10, 15 years from now, when you get a scrappy player at Notre Dame who can do it all and puts his body on the line, you know what they're going to say? He plays like a Kavanaugh.
Play like a Kavanaugh.
It's going to be the ultimate compliment.
They got T-shirts that say play like a Kavanaugh.
Brother Matt, brother Pat, and now Chris. And that's Matt Trainer. He says, hang on. Penn State not going away without a fight. 2 quick goals to begin the 3rd, both by the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year.
He's got a quick hat trick. Again, in the open, we talked about how he can have some monster outings. 7 goals against Johns Hopkins, 3 last week against Colgate. Matchup favors Trainer. PLL draft pick number 6 by the New York Atlas, and they're going to play him at the midfield because he smokes midfield defenders, this time from the invert. And when you put his tape on, and you look at him, he attacks from the high wing, that right wing. He can beat you from behind the net. That's a lot of options at the pro level as a midfielder.
And he's from a family that has impacted Penn State lacrosse in a big way. His 2 older brothers, Jack, who was a former standout, and Tripp, both former Penn State captains. When you think of the run of offensive alphas Penn State has been on, from Grant Ament and Mac O'Keefe to TJ Malone and now Matt Trainer, a pipeline in State College.
That Malvern Prep is, they got like 5 or 6 guys on the roster. Penn State may as well be like Malvern Prep grad school.
Here come the Irish now. Seymour, 26 in blue, the big standout in the opening half. Will Maharis had a goal. The Chicago native.
Good speed, great feet, 16 in blue.
Miller seeing more run of late. He gets free and scores. The freshman down the stretch, taking that next step.
National championship teams have late developing contributors, whether it's a senior who is kind of a second line guy, or a freshman or sophomore who's taken the year to grow up, to figure it out. And Luke Miller basically inserted into the lineup in the ACC tournament. He's on fire as a ball carrier and gives Kevin Corrigan a left-handed option in the invert game.
Former top 40 recruit. His dad played lacrosse at Maryland. 3-time state champion in high school.
His nephew is Bugs Combs, former player at Maryland. His grandfather is Gordy Combs, former Towson State back then head football coach. A
procedure call against Notre Dame. Brendan Leary, they like him. Short stick, D-midi, threat to score.
Yeah, 2 and White's only a sophomore. Looks the part yesterday at practice. He's a monster, 6'4", 200.
Ryan DeRocco wheels around to the crease. Chased by Buckner, gives it up to Aquino, Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Now Trainer, he's got a hat trick. 3 of the Penn State 5. Lehman draws the slide. Here comes Sean Light. Now Lehman looking for help. Matthews, 51 and White. Round 1 hero. DeRocco dumps it back. Shot clock at 20. Lehman's got the short stick. Reinhardt not yielding. Lehman from the outside. 3 out of 4 goals in this quarter from Penn State. 9-6 game.
Playoff game's going to have a certain level of physicality. Look at Reinhardt tying up Lehman well. Lehman stays with it, keeps his feet moving, rolls back to his right hand, gets to the middle, late in the shot clock. Notre Dame hesitant to double. Okay, it's not there. I lean in, I step away, I create separation, and now I'm free to go again. So that change of direction, that push-pull from that offensive player, if you're getting leaned on, step in and then step away, and Lehman does a nice job.
Penn State shooting 3 for 3 in the third quarter, 3 for 22 in the first half. Trail check on Lynch. Penn State gets it back. How about Reed Gills, the face-off man, the freshman, 6'3", forcing the turnover, and now Penn State can get to within 2 with a goal. What's different about this Penn State offense in this third quarter?
Well, we talked about their inability to pass the ball, but they're winning some matchups now. Lehman winning that matchup, Matt Trainer winning his matchup. Again, then Trainer on a cut, but the offense revolves around 2 guys, and I think that's pretty clear. That all isolations are going to start with 4 and White, Lehman, or 22 and White, Trainer. The other guys are kind of window dressing.
Trainer setting the pick. Long at his hand is free. Wallstrom will dig it out, Dana.
Quentin, you mentioned the window dressing, but in that first half, the window dressing was stagnant, so not moving off ball, and it was creating defensively for Notre Dame really easy to track those cuts, but much more movement here in this third quarter, which has led to the run for Penn State.
I've heard football coaches say you want eye candy and window dressing. Making a field trip to Amsterdam. Here comes Wallstrom. Shot clock at 8. Amon on the run. That one missed. Did Ricciardelli get a piece? He did, which resets the shot clock to 60. I'm not sure if he doesn't touch that. That's probably over the cage. So now a offensive reset here for Penn State.
You'll see the goalie stick just get clipped by that ball, allowing Penn State to sub now offensively. They'll bring on some fresh midfielders, and this defense gets their cardio tested.
Aquino with momentum, spins back. Ricciardelli to the denial.
Good recovery by Ricciardelli. He was kind of burnt. You see him go down initially, down with the body, but he kept his hands high enough to make that stick side high save.
11 saves for TR, old rough and ready.
Good time for a possession now. If you're Notre Dame, this is costly.
Unforced error by the Irish. They weren't ready, and Penn State gets it right back after a long possession on offense.
Exactly.
9 turnovers for Notre Dame. The pendulum has swung. Winner to the national semifinals. Cornell will play the winner of this game. Offsides on Penn State. Wow. Now they had Notre Dame's defense a little gassed, and they give it up. Here come the Irish. Kavanaugh, the counter. Just like that. And now a flag at the end of the play.
Kavanaugh got cheap shotted and buried after he scores this goal. What Chris Kavanaugh does exceptionally well as the point man on the fast break is he catches the ball moving towards the passer.
Notre Dame goal is good. White, 16, unnecessary roughness late. 1 minute, dead ball foul. No face off. Hey, you want timeout?
Watch Kavanaugh catch this pass from Ben Ramsey and move towards him, getting to the middle of the field. And after he fills up the net, he pays the price.
The NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in scholarships every year. Those D1 scholarships are now guaranteed. Health and well-being services are mandatory. Student athletes get tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes.
Krista, it's time to fess up.
About?
You're over 45 and still haven't screened for colon cancer.
We all knew.
This is like the 3rd year she's turned 44.
Okay. I wasn't ready. But drink all that prep? Cancel brunch plans? I can't.
Ask for Cologuard. It's a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive.
No prep, and you use it at home.
False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy.
Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action.
Yesterday on Long Island, Cornell, Goldstein, Hurst, Firth, knocking off Richmond. And then in one of the wildest playoff games we've ever seen, Syracuse, a 19-18 win against Princeton. Cornell and Syracuse both on to championship weekend for the Orange. First trip to the semifinals since 2013. Cornell, they were there in 2022, national runner-up to Maryland. A lot of those guys who were freshmen then, now seniors. 2 wins away from Cornell's first championship since 1977.
Congratulations to the Big Red and the Orange, but we also need to show some respect for Richmond and for Princeton. In a year, you just see how tight everybody is. An amazing year for the Richmond Spiders in particular.
So the penalty on the late hit against Kavanaugh means Notre Dame has the extra man. No face-off, and they cash in quickly. Devin McClain makes it 11-6 Notre Dame with 6:53 to go. Just when it seemed like Penn State has seized the momentum, the Irish come back, and that extra man could prove costly here.
This is a BB. Like, this ball's got eyes. McClain eyes it up. Kavanaugh picks up the assist. It's just a catch. He's shot ready when he receives this. Lacrosse is a visual game. His stick is up in that box area off his right shoulder. So it's fast from catch to shot. And that decreases the goalie's ability to find the ball. And that's catch, little half cradle hitch, and let it rip. Devin McClain, man, in rhythm with that release.
Meanwhile, Chris Kavanaugh with a 5-point game. He's got it now. 3 goals, 2 assists. Kavanaugh, a Tewaarton Award finalist.
I'm liking the depth of scoring from Notre Dame today. They're not heavily reliant on 1 or 2 players. They've mixed in 2 transition goals, which is good. That's one thing they can do. They score in ways outside of the 6-on-6. Penn State's been unable to do that.
Angrick, part of that midfield unit today with Faison and Boozenkill. That second midfield has been more effective, though, with Maharis and Seymour. Faison using this pick, drawing the attention. How do you like that? McLean off the feed from Faison. And Notre Dame doubling up Penn State.
Here's your viral moment from this game. Who's and kills a grease guy? Talking to Kevin Corrigan yesterday. Watch him set the pick right here. 23 sets that pick. Draws the reaction, but this finish. This is all a feel thing. Okay, when you're feeling front side pressure, that's when you want to go to the BTB, the behind the back shot or the shovel shot. And McLean reads the defense, and his shot release, dictated by defensive pressure, says go the other way. And he does the shovel shot.
3 goals in the span of a minute 12 after Penn State had cut it to 9-6. It escalated quickly. Lynch Amtraks his way across midfield. We're going to get a flag. It's going to be on Penn State.
Lynch is put together, and yesterday at practice. He's about as wide as he is tall.
Crease feed, Taylor denied. And now Notre Dame goes man up.
Wait, 51, offsides, 30 seconds. Shot clock is 63.
Did Amtrak just knock him offsides?
Yeah, perfectly legal.
Lynch, did Lynch just knock him offsides?
You're standing on the tracks. You better, Liam Matthews, welcome to the weight room.
Oh, man.
From the front.
So that's a bull dodge that basically knocks the opposing player offsides.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Now, was it a warding off play by the ball carrier, who clearly made contact with only one hand on his stick and the other hand, the forearm kind of delivering the contact? Yes.
I think that Penn State would argue that. Notre Dame has its largest lead. They can tack on with the extra man. McLean looking for Ricciardelli, Jeffrey Ricciardelli, older brother of the goalie Thomas. Instead of turnover, and Penn State will try to push instead of turnover.
You watch tape, and 2 things stood out about Penn State. My biggest question marks I had was, in this game, we're going to be their transition defense. If Notre Dame could get running, and they've scored 2 fast break goals, but they're clearing and riding. Like, you've got to be really clean and efficient if you're going to clear and beat this Notre Dame ride. And nobody in the Big Ten really did any riding this year. It was a very settled half-field conference. I mean, Rutgers was the only team in the league. You compare that to what we saw in the ACC, it was certainly a league that teams used the 10-man and challenged you in the ride.
McLean denied by Frassian. Frassian with his 9th save. He's 9 out of 21. Came into the game 34% over his previous 3.
Senior season, he's got 11 wins. Frassian peaked out save percentage-wise last year, and he should 57%. Down to 49% in the senior season.
And Jeff Tambroni told us they haven't been able to figure out if it's physical, if it's mental. We remind you, game 1 of the Western Conference Final between the Oilers and Stars is Wednesday night in Dallas on ESPN.
I think it's all mental for a senior. I think his skills are the same.
Matthews forces one in. Liam Matthews, redshirt freshman from the Hill Academy in Canada, 4 goals last week, including the last 2 that were the difference in the win against Colgate.
Lefty from Canada wearing number 51. pass down, pick down, and then he just flashes before the defense really could get their bearings and get set. Catches this one in traffic, keeps that ball and stick in his left hand, and finishes from in tight. Bright future, only a sophomore, as you said. Brody Merrill and the Hill Academy.
He's been starting on attack. Aquino normally would be there, but physically just can't handle the amount of time on the field that it would take. So they've been running Aquino on that second midfield just to get him in there. He doesn't really practice.
No, he doesn't practice at all. Yesterday he was at practice. He was wearing a t-shirt and shorts with a leg sleeve on. And for a freshman to do that, Anish, is really remarkable. You'd think that's the type of thing a senior could do, knowing the offense. But here's a freshman, Hunter Aquino, and he was on fire first half of the season. First 7 games, he had 26 points. Since then, only 9 points.
He hasn't been healthy. He's only practiced 3 or 4 times in the last 6 weeks, according to his head coach, Jeff Tambroni. Penn State back in his zone. Notre Dame gives it up. 6 in white, Alex Ross.
Really, really good player. Lefty from nearby Spalding High School. Scored a man-down goal from distance against Cornell and covered C.J. Kerr so effectively in that Penn State win. There's another clearing issue by Penn State.
They were running out of time. You've got to get it across before the shot clock hits 60. But we're going to get a loose ball hold on Notre Dame, so it gives Penn State the ball, and they get a fresh 60-second shot clock to boot.
It's a difficult call to make in lacrosse when a guy like Nate Switzenberg is pitchforking Matt Traynor, and he gets under the arm of Traynor. But what Traynor does is he clamps on the stick and then falls down, making it look like a hold.
Quinn physically demonstrated that here in the booth. Thanks, Quinn. You wanted a wrestling mode there. Here comes Traynor. Plays it to the wing. Good look for Long. His second. It's 12-8.
This is sensational. 2-man game. Pick and then slip. This, I tell you, Matt Traynor is going to be a really interesting player in the PLL this summer for the New York Atlas. His ability now in the 2-man game. Here's the call. You make the call. Is this a hold, or does the offensive player? That's the tail end. You don't really see it enough. But if Traynor feels that pressure, he should fall down, and he does. There's a nice pick and roll. Double team drawn. You throw it back. Just excellent job by Traynor. And then the finish by Ethan Long.
A big face-off here. It's won by Penn State, so a chance to get back to within 3. This was a 9-6 game. And then Notre Dame rattled off 3 straight to get to 12-6. Penn State has found a little mojo here in the waning moments of quarter number 3. How big would a goal here be for Penn State going into the 4th?
Huge.
.30 seconds. Nittany Lions can hold for 1.
Looked like they're going back to the 2-man game with Traynor and Long. Here it comes.
There's Traynor looking to get free from Schwitzenberg. Able to retain possession. Traynor circling the cage, and he scores! An acrobatic goal by Matt Traynor. A little alchemy against the Golden Domers. It is 12-9 with 13 seconds to go in the 3rd.
It all starts with the 2-man game. Watch him slip this. Give and go. Nothing's doing. And then he just gets creative. He knows time's not on his side. Are you kidding me? Wow. I tell you, late in the season, there are two seniors nationally who have just burst off the screen. One is this guy, Matt Trainer, and one you can see in game 2 today. That's Aiden Carroll. Both pro draft picks. Both get better every time you see them. Insane athletes. And you try to put their skill set in a box, and man, they just continue to show and grow.
Now they have gone supernova down the stretch.
Huge goal.
12-9. Face-off won by Lynch. Notre Dame, 7 seconds. Kavanaugh's got it. They got to go. 4. Kavanaugh against Ross. McLean, backhanded shot wide. Penn State's bench juiced at the end of quarter number 3. Matt Trainer, their senior captain, putting his team on his back. He's got 4. The Nittany Lions still believe.
College sports fans, get ready for game day with the officially licensed merchandise from the NCAA official online shop. Shop NCAAsports.com. Get the whole family geared up with the best collection of apparel and accessories, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, headgear, championship gear, and more. Visit the NCAA shop for today's special offer and rep your favorite team now. Only at shopNCAAsports.com.
Today, I choose us how to screen us for colon cancer. Here, on my land, not theirs. Give me Cologuard or give me...
We can do that for you.
What, no battle?
Nope. Just a prescription.
Victory!
Cologuard is an effective and non-invasive colon cancer screening test. False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy. Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard online.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corebridge Financial. Action is everything.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo.
You can change your color here.
And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do. So whenever you start a project,
don't worry.
You're not alone.
We can do this together.
So what are you working on?
Coach Chambroni, sensational 2-man game with that last score by Matt Trainer. How do you close the door as we enter the 4th quarter?
Yeah, man, I think we just had too many self-inflicted wounds in that 3rd quarter, and Notre Dame's too good of a team, so hopefully our guys will just keep believing and just keep going. I think we've scored a lot of goals in this quarter, unlike the first half, so hopefully we'll just find a way in these last 15 minutes.
Fun to watch, thanks.
Thank you.
Penn State scored on 6 of its 9 shots in that 3rd quarter. They closed the quarter on a 3-0 run. Matt Trainer has been Hercules. He's got 4 goals. And we go to the 4th quarter with a trip to championship weekend on the line. And a face-off violation on Will Lynch. Penn State ball. Anish Shroff, Quint Kesnick, Dana Boyle, Quint's hair. Penn State looking to make a comeback.
As an athlete in this type of game, you're always just about the next play, okay? You got to flush it, you move ahead, and you're focused on the next play with that neutral, forward-looking mentality.
Amon. Here comes Ethan Long.
Much crisper ball movement.
Long gets it back. Now Trainer. Defended by Schwitzenberg. Poked loose. Trainer recovers. Wallstrom. Against Alakwa. Gets a step. Runs out of an angle. Still plenty of time. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Long likes to initiate. He's got a short stick in Alakwa. Penn State spinning it, not able to get inside. Lehman's got shake. Shot clock now at 15. Lehman gets a step, fires on the run. The line in spring has a roar. It's 12-10.
Big time belief. Incredible fan support. And this possession was round and round and round it goes, and Lehman finally gets a matchup that he likes. Little shake and bake, top of the box. Watch him, little stutter step. Gains that leverage, and he's able to release that. I thought that was a snappy, right-handed, kind of a wrist release on the run. 4 straight goals by Penn State.
Now the face-offs become critical. One by Notre Dame. Hagstrom had it, lost it. Parnham dumps it to Frassian to set up the clear.
You feel the energy difference now. You can see it on these benches, and you can feel it on the field.
Notre Dame's golden helmets on their sideline shimmering right now like a blade on the ocean. Penn State, you see the arms moving, the sticks waving. There is juice on that Nittany Lions sideline.
Nittany Lions pulled off a miraculous comeback in their win over Cornell. Kind of a bizarro finish.
As we've seen in this tournament, it's whether you get there, not how you get there. Especially this year. Matthews, 51 and white, played a big role in the comeback. Lehman, bounce shot.
Yes,
and it
yes.
Through. The bench erupting for Penn State. If you're Kevin Corrigan, do you think of a timeout?
5 straight goals. I'll tell you, it's about the hustle and the little things. Comes down to a trail check on the face-off win by Notre Dame. Look at the hustle. That's what you love to see. And then at the other end, the possession. Watch this bounce shot. Ricciardelli gets a part of this. I don't know what it hit. Probably is an arm or maybe a face mask, and it's got enough spin to get by him. These fans not ready for summer vacation.
Summer vacation, Quinn. But the 5 straight goals certainly gave the Penn State sideline a pulse. There was a point in that third quarter when Notre Dame doubled up on Penn State that you saw some of the finger pointing happening on the sidelines. No, you take the ball. No, this is your fault. We have to cover. Complete turnaround in the injection of life on the Penn State sidelines.
Oh, you can feel it. You can feel it. Momentum has been swinging violently over the last 10 minutes of game time. Penn State has not missed. They're shooting 8 of 11 in this half. They were 3 for 22 in the opening half.
And they stay with their zone defense.
Notre Dame had a 12-6 lead. And remember, Quint, one issue for Notre Dame this season, they have been prone to long scoring droughts. Faison.
They've been generally inconsistent all season. Moments of brilliance, but other moments where they kind of disappear for 17 minutes.
Angrick has a goal today. Faison has an assist. Buzenkill spins it back to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh catches it. One of the best clutch performers in Irish history. Kavanaugh looking to get free, finds McLean.
Look at that.
Gets mauled.
Look at that. That was good zone offense by Kavanaugh. Forced the seam, threw it inside, and man, that space just disappeared. Penn State playing with incredible energy right now.
A chance to tie. This was a 12-6 game with 5:56 to go in the third, and Penn State can tie it here. The two-time defending champions on the ropes. Hey, first half.
So much for Sleepy Sunday.
I'm telling you, Quinn, we thought maybe this was going to be a little more decaf than triple espresso. We've added some Red Bull plus triple espresso to this cocktail. Big round ball. Penn State turns it over. Here come the Irish. Gallagher tight ropes the sideline.
Now if you're Kevin Corrigan, you're thinking about your subs. Okay, who's better suited offensively to dissect Penn State's zone defense? Because I think that last midfield with Faison and Buzenkill is not the answer against the zone defense.
In 2018, we had that great quarterfinal round, one of the best we've ever seen. This one,
Penn State now back in man defense, so it seems like they're changing up their defense according to Notre Dame.
Here's a chance. That's the freshman Miller running out of the box. Notre Dame trying to manipulate the sub game.
Sub game critical.
Still plenty of time to shoot. Kavanaugh, the trigger man. They go to Miller, a late season catalyst. Feet inside, heavy traffic, loose ball. Back to Kavanaugh, 25 to shoot. Parnham all over him. They'll face off in the PLL this summer. Now Miller. He gets it back. They're trying to take away that inside feed. That time McLean knocked away. Ross off the ground and turns it over. Back to the Irish, and that's a fresh 80-second shot clock because Penn State established possession.
Nittany Lions are going to have to play zone now.
Let's see if Notre Dame brings in fresh legs. Seymour and Kavanaugh play catch.
It's a 1-3-2 zone.
How do you attack?
You got to press seams as a ball carrier, spin it to the adjacent, then attack the backside or inside.
Skip pass from the wing, offline, back up to Penn State.
That's killer. McLean was cutting to the ball from X, and if he could redo that, he would have backpedaled and been the backup responsibility. But he was thinking that there'll be a one more pass down that side of the field.
Less than 9 minutes to go in regulation here in Annapolis.
Tons of time, tons of time.
Quarterfinal number 3 with Cornell and Syracuse moving on yesterday in Hempstead, New York. Trainer's got 4 goals. Trainer bayonets through the defense, scores! The Nittany Lions, 6 unanswered, and they've tied this game at 12.
This is ridiculous. Trainer goes right down Roe Boulevard, and it's the parting of the seas defensively. He dusts his man, face dodges the double team, and slam dunks that. If I were Kevin Corrigan, that goal may draw a reaction for a timeout because the lack of physicality defensively, Trainer basically untouched. He is running circles around the Irish defense.
This was a sleeping lion until halftime. They have woken up, and they are hungry. Unsettled chance. Penn State has not led since it was 2-1. That was the 6:36 mark of the first quarter. Notre Dame scored the equalizer about a minute later. A chance to take the lead after being down 6 to the 2-time defending champions late in the third. Aquino, the freshman. Did Ricciardelli get a piece? He did not. No shot clock reset, 35 seconds. Trainer over to the far side. Lehman, he's got a hat trick. Trainer's got 5. Looking for one more. Trainer snakes in. Penn State has taken the lead.
This performance by Matt Trainer is as good as it gets in the NCAA tournament. He is a completely in takeover mode, running circles around defenders, using his body, using his will. Watch him get to the inside. And the Nittany Lions, folks, the Nittany Lions have the lead.
The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes. The NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in scholarships every year. Those D1 scholarships are now guaranteed. Health and well-being services are mandatory. Student athletes get tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo.
You can change your color here.
And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do.
So whenever you start a project,
Don't worry,
You're not alone.
we can do this together.
So what are you working on?
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corebridge Financial. Action is everything.
AE drink spray? AE drink spray.
You want a hoop like Trainer goal. We were watching the replays during the break, and Quint, it did not look from what we saw that there was anything that would overturn the call on the field, which was a Matt Trainer goal and a Penn State lead.
I have not seen video evidence that is strong enough to overturn this goal call.
Trainer has 6. Penn State in the midst of a 7-0 run.
While you're away from break in between quarters, Notre Dame challenged the last goal. After further review, the call is upheld. The goal is good. Notre Dame is charged the first time out and has no more challenges the rest of the second half. Face off.
So Peter Buchanan says the call upheld. Not enough evidence. If you go back to the semifinals a few years ago, remember Penn State against Duke lost because Garrett Ledman stepped in the crease on the game-winning goal in overtime, a play that at the time could not be reviewed, but it was the play that helped us get replay review.
Can you imagine if you're Penn State head coach Jeff Tambroni walking off the field that day, looking up at the big screen, and then replaying Garrett Ledman's foot stepping in the crease?
The face-off won by Penn State.
All the energy now. Notre Dame needs a juice play. They need somebody to change the momentum of this game. That can start with a simple check, a simple turnover.
They get it. Donovan, a human tempest, but he gives it right back to Parnham. Notre Dame in the last 13 minutes, 0 for 7 shooting, 5 turnovers. The 2-time defending champions on the ropes. Cornell awaits the winner in Foxborough. This game looked like it was on the brink of a runaway. The Irish led 12-6 with less than 6 minutes to go in the third. All Penn State since. Skip passed along, now Lehman. Spins away from Light, fires with the left hand. Backed up by Amon, plenty of time to shoot. Yesterday's 2 quarterfinals both decided by a single goal. Cornell over Richmond, Syracuse over Princeton. Trainer, slip and slide, behind the back pass to Lehman. It comes back to X and Amon. Now a wing dodge, Matthews, crease feet, behind the back goal, Ethan Long. Penn State leading by 2. 8 unanswered answered for the Nittany Lions.
Prayers answered. I tell you, during that possession, Notre Dame starting to show some fatigue on defense. Guys falling down, late approaches. This is just a catch in traffic, and you hope for the best. You put it over your shoulder. Again, you feel in the front side pressure. Watch Light hacks him in the back. But Long with a deceptive release behind the back from close range beats Richard Deli. And the onslaught, the improbable onslaught continues.
A hat trick for Long. Trainer's got 6. Lehman has 3. What's the last time Quint Notre Dame has had a clean offensive possession? Irish led by 6 late in the third. Now down 2 with less than 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Alakwa had trouble near midfield. Able to swim through.
Penn State's playing with incredible energy. Their strength and conditioning coach, I spent some time with him yesterday, Evan Hanbury, first-year guy from Air Force. He looks the part. This team was flying around yesterday. They had fast Fridays. They take Thursday off, Anish. Their energy level yesterday was so insane. I was like, man, what are they going to have left for the game? Well, that's their strategy. They used a catapult system, and you're seeing that energy now in this fourth quarter.
Can they hang on?
Zone defense.
Booze and kill marked by Costin.
Really condensed. Notre Dame doesn't have an outside shooter.
There's no Eric Dobson this year. Here's Chris Cavanaugh.
Cavanaugh can be effective on the far wing, the righty wing.
Cavanaugh gets it back. Parnham stays with him. That missed the cage, and Penn State has the backup. 4:43 to go. Frassian initiates the clear.
Ready for a 10-man ride now if you're Penn State. You're keeping your eye on Richard Deli.
He's staying put in the cage for now. John King, 33 in white. Able to get it across. Now Aldridge. 4.5 to go.
It's a big clear, Anish. It doesn't look like much, but when you're two shorties, King and Aldridge can handle that way effectively, and I'm shocked Kevin Corrigan didn't turn up the heat on that ride. You're down 2 goals with 4 minutes to go. You're not down 1 goal. You're down 2.
You go back to that quarterfinal about a decade or so. Notre Dame looked dead to rights against Albany when they had the Thompsons. It was the Notre Dame ride that propelled the Irish to a win and then to championship weekend. Matt Trainer, 6 goals. Skips it to the far side. Lehman, face dodge, no angle, back to X. Aquino now.
Look at the
shot clock inside of 20. Penn State.
Great pass.
Playing with poise, playing with confidence in the second half. Trainer has done what he's wanted. Matched by Ramsey. Shot clock at 6. Down to 5. Lehman's got to go. He slips. No flag. 1-0. He's got to be careful.
That's okay. That's okay.
You don't want to get a delay of game in that spot.
No, the turnover comes deep in the zone. Penn State's able to sub and take away transition.
The Irish, with a little more than 3 minutes to go, down by 2.
1 timeout for Kevin Corrigan. He burned the timeout on the challenge.
Notre Dame has not scored since the 5:56 mark of the third quarter. These long scoring droughts have been a problem this season. Usually they've happened early. A chance here, booze and kill, no! Frassian clamps down. That's the best look Notre Dame has had this quarter by far.
He had a window. Frassian doesn't buy fakes from the inside. He stays tall. He'll make all the stick sides, high saves with his stick. Down low, he relies on kicking.
Adventurous clear. Penn State has 2 timeouts, so if you're in trouble, you have that timeout in the back pocket. And now they're going to milk some clock.
Yeah, watch Frassian always stays tall with his stick, and it leaves a chance that he can make a kick save. And there's not a goalie other than Shea Dolce of Boston College that I've seen make effective kick saves like Jack Frassian.
At what point, Quit, down 2, season on the brink, do you press out? There's 2 minutes to go.
I think this is the last. I mean, Kevin Corrigan's going to allow this game to be run down to 130.
And then you're relying on Will Lynch. And listen, Penn State's held its own in faceoffs. Intercepted by Gallagher, huge. 1:42 to go.
It's a good look.
Seymour, evading Leary. Steps on the gas. 1:30 to go. Maharis had the look. Kavanaugh retrieves. 1:20 to go, maybe in his Notre Dame career.
Now Penn State setting their zone.
Taylor, pinball, popped into the air, picked up by Penn State. Here comes Aldridge across midfield, trying to tornado away from Light. Richard Daly still in the crease. Penn State just has to hang on to the ball, and they win the game, and they've got 2 timeouts. Lehman trying to play keep away, and Jeff Tambroni wisely uses the first of 2 timeouts with the Nittany Lions on the brink of one of the great comebacks in the history of this tournament, given who the opponent is today.
Devin McClain made it 12-6 with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. That's the last time Notre Dame scored. We talked about Matt Trainer to begin the day. The senior, Penn State's best player, pro draft pick, number 6, going to the New York Atlas. And he has just been awesome. He's taken this team, put them on their shoulders. Every goal looks differently. Acrobatic, slicing and dicing through the defense, working 2-man games. Looks like a man amongst boys. Able to get to his right hand, and he has put this team on his back. 8 straight goals by Penn State.
The scoring droughts for Notre Dame this season: 40-plus minutes against Syracuse, 29 minutes against Carolina. They went 29 minutes with 1 goal against Penn, 32 minutes with 1 goal against Virginia. And right now they're looking at a scoring drought of about 20 minutes. They have not scored since the 5:56 mark of the 3rd. They had a 12-6 lead. This game looked like it was on the verge of a Notre Dame runaway. Matt Trainer entered the chat.
Well, a bunch of guys entered the chat, Anish, besides Trainer. The face-off game, Reed Gills has done better. Defensively, the switch to the zone defense has perplexed this Notre Dame offense.
Notre Dame down 2. Penn State has the ball. They still have another timeout, and that's as important as the ball in this spot, Q.
Double team comes immediately right now. So you got this pinch double team.
They got Donovan and Light ready to attack Trainer. Gets rid of it quickly. Ball's on the turf. Irish scoop it up. They still have time.
Tell you, that was too easy.
Ramsey, the bagpiper, across midfield. Less than 40 seconds. McClain skips it back. Kavanaugh puts one on Cage. Missed it. The backup by McClain. Irish have not scored in this 4th quarter. Timeout, Kevin Corrigan. That's his last one. If Penn State holds on, the talk of a 3-peat dies, and we'll have a new champion in college lacrosse this season. If Notre Dame rallies for a miraculous comeback, they have a date with Cornell in the semifinals, but right now it's Penn State in the driver's seat. Up by 2, the Irish need 2 goals in 31.2 to send this to overtime.
Notre Dame's got to figure out how to attack this zone defense. talked about dodging a seam, creating a double team, moving into the adjacents and attacking the inside and backside. Penn State's done a really good job covering the inside. Another look you can do against the zone is dodge a seam and actually throw it back to where you came from and almost do a wheel or a circle formation. And then the next person catches it, runs upfield, and throws it back. Then you can attack the inside or the backside from that. But when you're attacking the zone, and Notre Dame doesn't have any bombers from the outside, that's been apparent in this whole fourth quarter. I mean, they have no stretch shooters. Jalen Seymour would be their only one, I would say. Faison doesn't have the range. Buzenkill, no range. Maharis, no range. Demis and Matt Jeffrey. Fisher-Finley, no range. Devin McClain, no range. And so that really restricts what they can do from the perimeter.
Here come the Irish. Less than 30 seconds. Kavanaugh from the outside. Ball is saved. It's picked up by Penn State. Fracion has it. Double team, triple teamed. Gets rid of it. Penn State chucks it downfield. Is that a shot or a pass? They're going to say that's a pass. 12.5. Irish need a miracle. Richard Deli up ahead to Angrick. 7 seconds. 5 seconds. Angrick missed the cage, and Penn State knows it. The Nittany Lions take down the king of the jungle. Notre Dame goes down. Penn State moves on.
Let's go!
Down 8-3 at half. Things got worse, down 12-6. Well, it was no podcast in the second half. It was one of the most miraculous and inspired comebacks you'll ever see.
Simply put, down 6 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Penn State scores the final 8 goals of the game. They do it against the two-time defending national champion. Simply put, it is one of the greatest comebacks in the history of this NCAA tournament.
And belief is strong. You don't pull off comebacks like that without belief. And the magical run at Penn State, and it's been an incredible season for all their sports. The football team, massive success. Women's volleyball had an incredible comeback to win the championship. Wrestling dominant. Hockey Frozen Four. Lacrosse to championship weekend. It's in the water right now out in Happy Valley, and they tapped into some of that today.
The season ends in Annapolis for Notre Dame. The Achilles heel for the Irish this season, scoring droughts. And they go scoreless over the last 21 minutes of this ball game. No trip to Foxborough, no three-peat. Penn State, meanwhile, a program that prior to 2019 had never won a tournament game, is now going to championship weekend for the 3rd time in 6 seasons.
Big Ten comes up big in Annapolis. Jeff Tambroni once again. He'll be working on Memorial Day weekend.
And he will face his old employer, the Cornell Big Red. Tambroni will spend the week in the spotlight. A rousing comeback win for the Nittany Lions. They're on to championship weekend.